like to actually graze my shins with the bar. Not drag it up my shins, but graze it. Sometimes shit happens. Now, if you do deadlifts enough, you start getting a big lump of calcification over your shin bone, which hurts like a and it starts sticking out and actually affecting how you deadlift, because you now have to move the bar further away to get it over the big egg in your leg, because you're too proud to wear some sleeves. So, yeah, it's up to you. You do you. If you want to fucking bleed everywhere and be in pain, then that's your own choice. Finally, straps. Straps are cheating, Reese. Are they? Why don't you come here and say it to my face? No, you can't use them in competition, but they're an effective tool to use in training. Hey guys, now, as you know, deadlifts are my absolute favorite lift, okay? Now, my current PR is 410 kilograms, which is more than 900 pounds, conventional, raw, not sumo. Now, helping people build a big deadlift is a passion of mine. I fucking love to see it. Okay, nothing screams power and might like a massive fucking deadlift. Now, today, I'm gonna share with you the cues that I've used to help build a huge deadlift. I've used these cues with my athletes, myself, and there's something you could easily incorporate in your deadlift right now as it is, and you will add kilos to the bar instantly. I'll also be going over the different kinds of equipment you can use, to show you the effective and useful tools that they really can be. And I'm really excited to obviously hear what you guys think, and I'm excited to hear if you get something out of it. Hope you enjoy this. Let's get it. And welcome back to your mum's favorite channel on YouTube, Cult Strength. Now, today, it's not a normal training video. Today is very, very special, actually. Today, I'm going to tell you how you can instantly increase your deadlift. Now, that's not really clickbait, because what I'm going to share with you today, I genuinely believe that if you incorporate these things into your deadlift as it is, that it's going to help. And I mean instantly add kilos to the bar. Now, this isn't a deadlift tutorial video. I'm not going to be breaking down the entire technique and telling you to change shit, okay? These are, we'll call them tips. And these are things that I think you can apply to your technique as is now and instantly make gains, okay? That's what I genuinely believe. Obviously, I'm a coach and I have helped my athletes by incorporating these little cues, okay? And it made a world of difference to their deadlift. Now, obviously you should and can fix and change your technique if you need to, right? I have other videos that I've done earlier that are more deadlift breakdowns and how you should perform the movement. But these are just, I would say, very special cues. They're gonna help you instantly, because hey, sometimes it's nice to get things right away. So that's what I'm here for. So I'll show you a few cues, while I do some deadlifts, things that will definitely help you. And then after that, I'm actually gonna sit down. We're gonna go over different equipment that we can use in training. So such as what belts we can use, shoes, what sort of straps can we use? What straps should we use, or if we could even use them? So I'm gonna go over that, because I think that equipment can make a difference to your lifting as well. And if it can help, then why not use it? So today, I'm gonna help you understand a little better and get you stronger. Let's get this. All right, guys, now the first thing that I think you should be incorporating into your deadlift is something that I've spoken about in the last couple of weeks, and that is a stationary start versus a dynamic start. You may be asking what that means, and that is why I'm here. I'm gonna demonstrate and explain to you the difference. Now, on paper, a stationary start is excellent, okay? Especially if you're new to a movement and you're learning it. Stationary start takes a lot of complication out of the movement, you could say, and it makes it very simple. It's very simplified. We get into the position that we want to start in and we lift from there. Now, although it's very easy, very simple, it does have a downside, okay? Especially if your goal is ultimate strength, to pull the biggest number you can. You will find that a lot of advanced athletes, and I'm talking probably all of the best deadlifters in the world, use a dynamic start of some sort. okay? They don't start the movement stationary or still. Why is that? Well, the deadlift is a strange one, right? With the squat and the bench press, you know, when we start the movement, we have an eccentric loading phase. So we unrack a bench press, we start here, we load down and we press. With the squat, same thing. We start here, we load down, we stand up. The deadlift, we don't get an eccentric loading phase, right? It's just picking up dead weight off the ground. So in a sense, we have to trick the body into switching on like it's already loaded, okay? It's very difficult. If you were to load up your max squat and start at the bottom position, you would find it's very, very difficult to move the same weight. And same with your bench press. A pin press is a lot more difficult than a regular bench press without the eccentric. So the reason that one would incorporate, you know, a dynamic start into their deadlift is to move more weight. It's harder to do, yes. It's more advanced, but it's not that hard. It's not that complicated. And I don't think it's something you shouldn't do. I think you should learn to do it. Okay, so my advice to you right now is that if you are wanting to increase your deadlift and you're quite serious about this sport, then you should definitely consider learning to do a dynamic start, but also consider learning to do it efficiently and well and practicing it, making it a part of the routine of your lift. Because when we get to the bar, we don't want to be doing something different every single time. We want to be really consistent to get obviously the best product at the end, okay? It's repetition, repetition, but it's also perfect practice makes perfect, not just practice. Right now, I'm quickly going to just demonstrate though the difference between a dynamic start and a stationary start. So again, I'm not going to be changing any technique. So how I stand is how I stand. You do you, but just pay attention to the start, okay? So, stationary start. We get the barbell, we get into position, we lower our hips, okay? We're in this position here. Then we will take our breath and brace. So we'll go. Right? That is a stationary start. So I'm still, and then I move. Now, for me, that feels so much heavier than a regular dynamic start deadlift for me. And let me show you how I do it real quick. Okay, so I'll step up to the bar. I won't get as close, I don't have to. My hands go down to the bar. I get comfortable with it. I feel it out a little bit first, right? I get set. Now from this position, I keep my hips high. I bring the bar very slightly away from me, okay? I use this little roll here to gain a little bit of momentum, but to also allow myself to switch my lats on. I essentially am pulling the bar into myself like a straight arm pull down. Okay, so I'm engaging my lats by pulling the bar down, back towards me. Okay, so watch this. I take the slack. Now, those two demonstrations, I put the same amount of effort into moving the bar, which wasn't a lot. The dynamic one moves so much faster. Okay, so when you're doing a dynamic start, it's about essentially, if you want to roll it, you can, right? Some people will give it a yank, but the roll is very simple. What you want to make sure of is that when you do it, we're not too aggressive with it. We want to be controlled still and consistent. And it's about bringing the bar back and at the same time dropping the hips slightly and meeting the bar with your shins, right? Getting the bar nice and close. Now what can happen if you are a little reckless with this, bring it back too fast and you don't drop your hips down in time, you pull from a stiff-legged position, right? Or if you perhaps don't roll the bar back far enough, now the bar's too far in front of you. So practice makes perfect, don't get me wrong. So use your warm-ups to practice how you want it to feel and look, and start light. Don't do it with a max. Start with light weights. It's going to take time. I'll give you one more demonstration so you can see. All right, static start first. Dynamic start. So that's my preferred way to deadlift. Something you can consider. If you have any questions, drop a comment and I'll help. Next one coming up. All right, guys, now the next thing I'm gonna share with you is something really, really fucking simple, okay? But it goes such a long way. And it's something that I guess most people literally have no idea how to fucking do it, even though everyone screams it at them, right? So when people say, use your lats on a deadlift, it's very different again to squats and bench press and other movements. Okay, so on a bench press, when we're using our lats in our back, we're retracting and depressing our shoulder blades. On the squat, we're retracting, depressing our shoulder blades. On the deadlift, if we were to retract and depress our shoulder blades and try and do a deadlift, we've just lost 6 inches of length on our arms. Okay, that's not ideal. 6 inches is fucking huge. You know what I mean? So that's not ideal. So that's not how you use your lats on a deadlift. And you may be asking, Reese, what the fuck are you talking about? How do you use your fucking lats then? Well, son, let me explain. It's very simple. It's very simple, and it's something you're gonna do while you're sitting there watching, or stop touching yourself for a minute and you can try this, okay? So just whether you're standing or sitting, okay, put your hands by your side, just like this, slightly in front, like as if you were about to deadlift, not here, slightly in front, fingertips towards the floor, okay? From this position, it's real simple. Push your fingertips towards the floor as hard as you can and flex your pecs. You can almost imagine having an orange in your armpits or a mandarin and you're trying to crush it at the same time, okay? So push down, squeeze in. I have just lengthened my arms, okay? So instead of retracting and depressing, I am pushing down. I'm actually protracting my shoulder blades, which is the opposite to retracting. So I hope you understand that. It's all about pushing your fingertips to the floor, pushing your lats down, squeezing your pecs. Okay, now that you have this feeling here, obviously it's a little more difficult to apply that to the bar, but you're gonna fucking try. And the good way to start with that, again, keep it real simple. Whether you do a stationary or dynamic start, keep it real fucking simple. Now, as I explained in the dynamic start, I use the actual roll to get that, right? I'm here, and then I'm rolling in, flexing my pecs, pushing down. That is creating such stability and strength throughout my entire upper torso that when I go to pull from the ground, I'm not gonna be, from here, I'm not gonna be getting pulled out of shape like this. We don't want excessive rounding in the back. We want a little bit, because that's normal. Flexion is okay. The rule is kind of don't go further into flexion after you start the lift, right? So I like to literally start with a bit of flexion in my upper back. So I will round it here a little bit already. I'm tight, and then I pull, but it stays like that. And then I straighten up, right? I don't go further into flexion, and the way that I do that is by using my lats correctly. And this cue will carry on to the next one that I give you. As you can see, they're all gonna link a little bit, okay? Because if you can get your lats on at the bottom of the lift and use them effectively and efficiently, you're not going to be out of position when you go to finish the lift. So if you're that motherfucker that's always getting to here and then you can't fucking knock it out, right? I've been there. It's very difficult to use your lats properly with a heavy deadlift. That's why it takes practice and you have to get stronger. But that cue is the difference maker. That is gonna add fucking kilos to your deadlift instantly if you can get the hang of it. If you can't get it instantly, try it for a few sessions and I promise you'll pick it up. It's really not that difficult. All right, I'm gonna do just 1 rep now, just so you can get a visual demonstration. Again, think about what I'm doing and visualize yourself doing the same thing. Visualization is very important. 1 rep. Remember the start as well for me. I'm linking it all together. All right. Lats. And it just weighs literally nothing when your lats are on and they're tight and they're fucking strong. All right. So here's another tip for you. We got one more good one to share with you, and then we're going to get into the equipment, which is also very important. Chat in a sec. All right, baby. Third and final deadlift cue, we can say. Now this is to, I guess, round it all off, right? We've gone through the first one, the second one, they link in. This is going to link into this one. So, shoulders over the bar. What do you mean, Mr. Reese? Why do you keep asking me that, motherfuckers? I'm going to explain to you. You know I'm going to explain it to you. That's why I'm fucking here. All right. It's real simple. Now, the most overused cue in a deadlift is chest up. Chest up, chest up, chest up. What? Shut up. It doesn't really help. It doesn't help most people. Hey, I've been guilty of that cue as well. I've learnt from it, okay? And I'm a bigger and better person now. So you can be bigger and better too. Shoulders over the bar isn't as bad as it sounds. What's important to remember in a deadlift is that positioning in that first half of the movement up to the knees dictates your lockout. If you totally fuck up the first part with a heavy deadlift, you got fuck all chance of saving it and getting the job done. Okay, so everything we do matters, and positioning matters. Now you can be really, really strong, but at some point the strength won't be enough and you won't be as strong as you could be if you were thinking about technique and position. So this is something to really think about with your own deadlifting. You can ask yourself the question is, are my shoulders over the bar at the midpoint? I'm going to explain to you and show you what that is, right? First, I'm going to give you a demonstration. Now, if you've seen my deadlifting videos, I do a lot of paused deadlifts. I think it's the best deadlift variation you can do, maybe even better than a deadlift for building your technique, because it breaks it into two phases. Okay, so I use the pause point to give myself a checkpoint of, are my fucking shoulders over the bar? Because if my shoulders are over the bar and my lats are on, I'm in a perfect position to execute and finish the lift. If my shoulders or my chest get too far back and high, what happens is I can't seem to fucking lock it out efficiently, and sometimes I can't lock it out at all. I'm going to explain why that is, okay? So, let's go through it again. Let's go through it again. It's going to make sense in a second. Trust me. All right. I'm going to pause it and slow it down a little bit so you can understand, okay? So when we're doing this, we bring it back in, we get to the midpoint, we get to here, okay? My shoulders are over the bar, my chest is towards the ground still. Okay, now come here, come in, come in. Come on, guys. Why is that? That is the strongest position you can possibly be in, okay? Maintaining a neutral, strong spine. When we start thinking about pulling our chest up, we start to push our butt back, okay? And when we get past our knees, okay, what happens is we start pushing our knees under the bar and ramping the bar up our thighs. Technically, that's not even allowed in powerlifting. You'd get red lighted for it. But some people get away with it to a certain point, but inevitably it will happen. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of chest being too high, just so you can see the difference. It'll make more sense. All right, chest up, chest up. Now that is obviously a little bit exaggerated because it's only 140 and I could do it a lot easier than that if I wanted to. But I'm sure you've seen the difference then, right? I was really pushing my legs through under the bar and having to lean back to get it to lock out. Now when I keep my shoulders over the bar and my lats on, I can then focus on locking my knees a little bit earlier, which makes that lockout at the top so much easier, all right? Because the issue is we get to the top, our knees aren't locked out and our hips aren't locked out. You've probably been there before, like trying to lock your knees or your hips and you're just thinking like, why the fuck can't I do this? That's why. You're out of position. Okay, so shoulders over bar. Then what happens is from here, think about it, if you've paused it, we continue to push, knees lock a little bit earlier, we squeeze our hips through to the bar. I'll give you a demonstration of a good deadlift with my shoulders over the bar, but I won't move too fast. Just pay attention. Okay, so I'm confident you can clearly see a distinctive difference in how that looks. Imagine it's 200 kilos heavier, all right? I probably wouldn't be able to lock the other one out, be out of position. So if you're thinking that you're getting to here and you need to work on your lockout, so you start doing rack pulls, please think again. Actually, no, I challenge you. Load up a rack pull with your 1 rep max deadlift. Go 10 kilos heavier. Start it above your knees. Can you do it? Probably very easily. What does that tell you? I don't know, Mr. Reese. Maybe my deadlift lockout isn't so weak. You'd be fucking right. What's shit is your starting position and your technique. Okay, so lesson. If your lockout sucks, don't do rack pulls. Go back to the floor. Think about it. Are you using your lats properly? Are your shoulders over the bar at the midpoint? If the answers are yes and yes, you have no problem. If your answer is no to any of those, fix it. Fix that before you think about doing a rack pull, and trust me, you're gonna have a monster deadlift. Because I don't know any elite deadlifters that actually use rack pulls to strengthen their lockout, because it makes no sense. There's a lot of okay lifters that do it. You know, there's a lot of, yeah, pretty good guys that are doing rack pulls. Could they be better? Absolutely they could be. They just don't use their brains properly. Anyway, we're gonna take a minute. I'll let you digest that for a second. We'll have a quick chat about it all. Then I'm gonna go over equipment with you. We'll break it down and I can help you out some more. Let's go. Cool. All right, guys, so there are your deadlift cues that I promise you, if you can incorporate those into your deadlift as they are, they will add kilos instantly. You know, if you're not doing those things, you're honestly missing out. It's a bit of a cheat sheet. So I really honestly think you should consider it. You know, I'm a 410 kilogram deadlifter, raw, conventional, you know, proper deadlifts. I've coached some people to some huge deadlifts. You know, I know my shit. I know my shit. So I would like to see you guys incorporating these because, hey, it feels good to have a big fucking deadlift, and I want to see that more. But quickly, let's go over some equipment. Now, you don't have to use equipment, don't get me wrong, but there's definitely tools we can utilize to help us increase our deadlift, because that's what they are. They're tools. Just as nutrition is a tool, supplements are a tool, you may be a tool, but these are also tools, okay? And I'm going to explain the difference between a few things, just so you understand, because, you know, there's some nuances that many people may not even know about, and it's definitely handy to know. So, first thing, shoes, okay? Now, I love my Vans. I love Vans so much, okay? They look great. Fantastic shoe, I've lifted in them. But, the problem is, see how thick the side of this shoe is, okay? You're standing on a platform. When you're trying to squat and deadlift heavy fucking weights, the last thing you want is to have some soft material under your feet. While you're trying to drive your feet into the ground and corkscrew the ground, you end up slipping out of your shoe. You feel like you can't get any traction or stability, and it's a very uncomfortable feeling when you're trying to squat 400 kilos plus, 300 kilos plus, even 200 kilos plus. If you're lifting heavy weights relative to you, feeling stable and grounded is so important. It's important for your technique, being able to use your big toe and your heel and your pinky toe as anchors. Okay, now it may not seem like a lot, but it really is, especially with squats and deadlifts. Okay, now as much as these are cool and everyone likes lifting in the shoes they like and they think they look great, you know, whether it's Nikes or Converse or Vans, you know, when it comes to lifting weights, they're shit. They're shit. Let's just be really honest, okay? We can do better. We can do better. When you come to the gym, when you leave the gym, put your fucking shoes back on. But if we're gonna train in shoes, trust me, I'd rather lift barefoot. You cannot go past something like this. Are they the most attractive looking shoes in the world? Probably not. They're a minimalist shoe, they're a barefoot shoe. It's like I'm wearing a sock. Okay, I can feel the ground with my feet, my toes. Okay, my feet aren't all jammed together. And that makes a massive difference in performance of any sport. But hey, particularly in a static movement where we're standing here, we don't need fucking arch support when we're trying to squat or deadlift. We don't need that cushioning. It's not gonna help our cause. Okay, so when you're picking up your shoes for deadlifts or squats, whatever it is, think about a minimalist shoe. That's gonna be your best bet, all right? Very good. Secondly, let's talk belts. A lot of people like to say they like to do beltless deadlifts. They don't want to rely on a belt. Son, the fuck is wrong with you? You want to lift heavier? Put a fucking belt on. Now you say it's because you don't have an ego. Well, my motherfucker, it sounds like you have a very big ego because you're using this as some sort of reason as to why you're better than everyone else, when in fact they're probably lifting more weight than you. So, you're fucked there. If you don't have a belt, get one. Not only will they make you stronger, not only will they give you a bigger deadlift, but it allows you to use your abs more effectively. It allows you to brace more effectively. Okay, it's not just some magical thing you put on and it saves your back. You have to learn how to breathe and to brace and to use it. Okay, we have to expand our obliques, our abs, into the belt to create intra-abdominal pressure. If we do this correctly, not only do we lift more weight, we can do it for longer because we're in less pain. Okay, it is an effective tool to help you with your training. So why not fucking use it? Get a fucking belt. You can get 13 mil, you can get 10 mil, you can get lever, you can get prong. Don't get fucking Velcro, okay? Jesus Christ. But yeah, this is 13 mil. It's a bit thicker, I'm a big boy. 13 mil meaning the thickness of the belt here. You get 13 or 10. And mine's a lever belt, meaning I can just flick it on and off. Don't have to worry about trying to stick it in the hole. All right, next. Which one should we do? Sleeves. Why the fuck are you wearing sleeves when you deadlift, Reese? Well, no one likes to have your bloody shins all over the fucking bar, mate. That's one reason. Secondly, do we have to cause more excessive pain than we already are feeling and experiencing? No. The goal of a deadlift is to keep the bar as close to your shins as possible. As close as possible, to the point where I like to actually graze my shins with the bar. Not drag it up my shins, but graze it. Sometimes shit happens. Now, if you do deadlifts enough, you start getting a big lump of calcification over your shin bone, which hurts like a motherfucker, and it starts sticking out and actually affecting how you deadlift, because you now have to move the bar further away to get it over the big fucking egg in your leg. Because you're too proud to wear some fucking sleeves. So, yeah, it's up to you. You do you. If you want to fucking bleed everywhere and be in pain, then that's your own choice. Finally, straps. Straps are cheating, Reese. Are they? Why don't you come here and say it to my fucking face? No, you can't use them in competition, but they're an effective tool to use in training. Okay? When you're a big deadlifter, what becomes very important is the longevity of the skin on your hands. Once that becomes compromised and your hands get all fucked up and they start tearing every week, it's no longer a grip issue, but it's now a skin issue. And let me tell you right now, when you're going for a max and a skin issue is the difference between you locking it out and fucking not, well, I'm gonna put some fucking strips on. So I'm not gonna fucking spend the next 2 weeks fighting fucking dark thoughts because I missed the fucking lift because of my straps. Fucking idiots. Okay, don't use straps if you have little bitch hands. Don't use straps if you can't hold on to anything, of course. Make sure your grip is sound. Don't be slack and don't be lazy. But if the difference between you getting some real good serious work in and not is these, fucking hell. Anyway. I'm gonna need an aspirin or something. You guys stress me out. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. You know, I'm sorry I'm so aggressive. Okay, it comes with the fucking territory, but I'm happy. You know, I'm pretty peaceful, pretty relaxed, feel good. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. I truly do. A little different today. And I really mean it though. These can add kilos to your deadlift instantly, not so much the equipment. If you don't wear a belt, you don't know how to wear one, then you get one and learn how to use it, then that's gonna help you instantly, of course. And even changing your shoes, if you can feel the ground better, that's gonna help you instantly, of course, okay? And with the sleeves, if you can get the bar 2 centimeters closer to your legs than you normally do, that's gonna help you, of course. And same with the fucking deadlift cues. There's so much information there. If you have any questions, drop a comment and ask me and I'll do my very best to help you out. And if I can't get back to you in a comment, son, I'll be over next Thursday night, so Friday morning, we can sit down at the breakfast table with your mother and you can ask me anything you want. I'm here to help. Okay, you just have to ask. I'm a nice guy, I'm not gonna bite your head off. All right, but I might eat your mother. Until next time, go to the fucking gym.